Hello, hello. Welcome to my garden. Today I would like to talk about hydrangeas. I will talk about my top 5 list. I have so many great hydrangeas here in the garden, but there are some special ones I would like to talk about. This is just a stunning hydrangea. You can see such a beautiful plant. I have this hydrangea from France, and I can tell you that it was a seedling discovered in a French garden, the garden of Princess Sturdza in Normandy. It was for about 20 years ago, and it's a seedling of Hydrangea paniculata floribunda. I went to Princess Sturdza's garden in Normandy for about 20 years ago. It was such an incredible place. It was near to Vasterival, and the garden is still there, but sadly Princess Sturdza passed away in 2009, but she was quite old. Princess Sturdza was from Norway, and she was married to a prince from Moldova, and they have built up this amazing garden over 50 years. I have just looked it up at the internet and can see that it's still possible to visit this garden by appointment. And I can really recommend you to go there if you are in the area. Of course, I also need to tell you the name of this hydrangea. The name is Great Star. And sometimes you also see the name Vasterival. And this is the name of the garden of Princess Sturdza. But if you try to Google Great Star, I'm sure you will find this amazing variety. One more hydrangea on my top 5 list is, of course, Annabelle. Maybe the most beautiful white hydrangea you can grow. It starts almost green when the flowers is in buds, and then it turns white. And I think that this is just incredible. You probably know there can be a problem with this variety, with Annabelle, because it have quite big flowers and thin stems. And the problem is that it is very often what you can say dropping or falling over. And therefore we support the plants when they are in buds. And I can show you one of my supports here. It's a bit difficult to see them. We have placed them for about a month ago, but here you see the support. This is my own design, and I think it's such a good idea to support Annabelle. You probably remember that I have shown you this part of the garden before. For about a month ago we were having Alliums Mount Everest. And at that time you don't recognize the hydrangea. And I think it's such a good partnership. When the alliums are over, then we will have the hydrangeas. I would also like to show you this plant. This is Epilobium, angustifolium, Alba. Alba means white in Latin. And you probably know this plant from the nature. It's growing wild here in Denmark, but this is not the white variety. This is what you can say a carmine red variety. But I think the white variety here is so great. And you can see now we have the seed heads here. But for about 2 weeks ago, there were much more flowers. The white form is quite self-sowing, but this is sterile, so you will don't have seeds from this. A lot of people ask about pruning of hydrangeas, and when it comes to Annabelle, you can just cut it down in the early spring. The thing is that this species is arborescens, and arborescens is flowering on the first year's growth. Therefore, you can just cut it down. You can also just let it be as it is and just cut the flower heads in the early spring. This is an amazing hydrangea. Maybe you don't know this. It's quite seldom seen. And this is Hydrangea aspera Macrophylla. And the flowers, they are beautiful, and also the foliage. And this is a so-called Risskov hydrangea, and I can tell you that this is the flowers you're seeing here, the small ones, and these white ones, they are just florets. The felted leaves, the felted foliage here is also an attraction, and you can see here how beautiful it is. I can tell you that this hydrangea it needs to be growing in a sheltered spot, because if you have too much wind, it will damage the foliage. You can see this hydrangea is growing quite tall, about 3 meters, and it's also a plant with great winter interest, because it have very interesting bark. When it comes to pruning, you just need to take the flowers in the top, and then the branches will sprout with new shoots. I have 2 more hydrangeas to show you. They are growing in the border in front of the house. Please follow me. The last 2 hydrangeas I will talk about are growing together here in the border in front of the house. And this one, it's also an amazing variety. This is called Wim's Red. And during the season, it will change color. It starts almost green. Now it's white with a little hint of red. And in the next couple of months, it will really change. And in the autumn, the flowers, they are bright red, or you can also say dark red. And I'm looking very much forward to show you that. At the end, I would like to show you this variety. The name here is Ruby Annabelle, and you can see it's almost like Annabelle, but it's ruby red, so it's a great name for this variety. And this is also an arborescens species, so you can just cut it down if you spring, if you would like to do that. It was 5 of my favorite hydrangeas here in July. I will say you thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, goodbye.